For women with early breast cancer, a life-changing genetic test can predict whether you need chemotherapy or can get by without it. While the test is readily available overseas, here in Australia the cost can put it out of reach.
Good girl. That'll be good, won't it? I'd heard about the long list of side effects that chemo can have.
You can see this area here. It's a life changer for them.
Oh, well, they better hurry up and do it before the holidays, won't they?
I felt like I'd won the lottery.
This test can save breast cancer sufferers from chemotherapy, but for Australian women, it comes at a great cost.
Like anyone who receives a cancer diagnosis, I was devastated. I felt like my whole world had been turned upside down and you're faced with your own mortality. I'm going to catch you at the bottom.
Chemo was thought to be the best weapon for Bryony Munro's fight against breast cancer. And while the treatment is debilitating for any woman, at just 36, with 3 young kids and living 4 hours away from her doctor, the task was overwhelming.
How did you first feel when you heard that Mummy was sick?
Pretty sad and upset because we didn't know what could happen.
If there was a chance that I could avoid the toxicity of chemotherapy and there was a chance that I didn't need to have it unnecessarily, then I was going to jump at that chance for sure.
Under the care of Professor Bruce Mann, Bryony paid the $4,000 out of her own pocket and her tissue sample was sent to the US to be tested by the Oncotype DX. The test gives you a score between 0 and 100, the lower the better, on the likelihood of the cancer returning. Bryony's score was very low.
This was spectacular for her. This test allowed us to confidently tell her that chemo would not be a benefit. She's delighted.
I didn't want to lose my hair, which I know sounds terribly vain, but that's the way it is.
Julie Barnes was told after the initial surgery on her breast cancer that she sat in a grey area and would most likely benefit from chemo. Working in the health industry, she was well aware of how it would impact on all areas of her life.
You don't know what these toxic chemicals do to you long term, and our extended family lives with us, including my 8-year-old grandson, and there are the issue of sharing bathrooms when you're full of all these toxic chemicals with little people. All my ducks lined up, so to speak. Michael knew about the Oncotype, and when he felt it was warranted, it was offered to me and we went ahead with it. But some women don't get that.
I'm pleased to tell you that these are the results that we've got.
Professor Michael Hughes has had a number of his patient treatment plans reversed thanks to the Oncotype DX. Julie is one of them. Her recurrence score came back at just 17, so very little chance of the cancer recurring.
One of the most enjoyable things in my job is giving people good news. The big stumbling block, the big mountain for her was chemotherapy, and we were able to dodge around it.
By 2015, there will be more than 15,000 new cases of breast cancer. 70% of these will be early breast cancer, which means they could benefit from the genetic test that could save them from chemo. However, only 500 women in Australia have had the test done, and unlike other countries, they've had to pay for it themselves.
$4,000 is a lot of money to a lot of people.
The Oncotype DX is reimbursed by health insurers in the US, and in the UK, it was recently approved on the NHS. Maxine Morand heads up the Breast Cancer Network of Australia. They're currently lobbying for the test to be fully funded here.
There's an application before the government at the moment to provide a Medicare rebate for this type of test, and we think it's really important that the cost of a diagnostic test shouldn't be a barrier to access.
She doesn't have to have chemo, that's really good.
Yeah, so she doesn't have to lose her hair.
I'm just so fortunate that A, my doctor knew about the test, and that B, I could afford it.
Do you think that this test should be more readily available?
Everyone should be aware of it and everyone should have the opportunity to be able to have the test, no matter what their financial situation is.
It's certainly a prohibitive cost, isn't it? If you'd like more information on the test, just head to our website.